What's going on, Blerds, nerds, and everybody in between? It's your boy Wyatt, the sensei of the syndicate, and we are here with another episode of With the BS. And today, I got some new people here with us. Not really new, we just coming back and talking about a lot of different things because it's been a minute since we did some reviews. So today, we got Al talking with us about movies, television, and with us today, once again, Sir of the 2020 Podcast LLC. Please say the LLC. So,
Yes.
Al, how you been, man?
Been good, man. Just watching a bunch of stuff, staying at home like I'm supposed to.
Hey, that's a dope ass shirt. So tell the
Appreciate
folks where they can get that shirt at.
This is not out yet, so y'all get a little sneak peek.
Ooh,
on
what?
it. It's
Okay.
a BS exclusive for the moment. So when I put it up, y'all see it on the website. But that's theintrovertee.com. When it goes up, which should be like in a couple weeks.
That's we special. We fancy over here. You see,
Man.
we getting exclusives.
I'm the
So,
best.
so, sir, what you been up to, man?
Man, I'm good, bro. I just been catching up on a bunch of shows, a bunch of video games, just enjoying being a nerd, you know?
It's a
Just,
great
just
time.
nerding, bro. Just been nerding.
That's good. So what have y'all been nerding on? So what movies, television shows have really kind of caught your eye?
Well, and Wyatt, you're gonna be mad at me, but I've been catching up on anime. Wyatt has been giving me like a long list of anime to catch up on, and I'm slowly catching up.
I need that list.
Man, and look, y'all are not gonna believe this, but I finally finished Castlevania. I know Castlevania was like my favorite, because I love the video game series. So to finally finish my show, I did that and enjoyed it. And I started watching Record of Ragnarok, and I finished it. I was thoroughly impressed, even though it wasn't as much animation as I wanted. I still enjoyed the concept. Shout out to my nigga Lou Boo. And then I started reading again. I started catching up on different mangas, a couple new books by some Black authors, and I just been kind of spreading myself back into those mediums that I've been enjoying. But we'll get into that in a minute.
Al, what about you, man? Because I on Facebook, bro, you got reviews and everything like that. So which one has really caught your eye?
Well, on the anime tip, because I've been out the game on that for a good minute. So as I said, I need that list. But my cousin put me on Tokyo Revengers.
Oh, great one.
Just this past holiday, this past Thanksgiving when he was down here and played me a couple episodes, and I was like, it's mad interesting. So I'm checking on that right now. Another thing that I've been watching a good bit, kind of binging on is Doom Patrol. So I'm on the last season of that now, really enjoying that. And then saw Eternals, saw Ghostbusters. On the black side, we black and nerds.
Yeah.
True Story, that was dope.
Mhm.
Kevin Hart. And then most recent season of Insecure, and I'm kind of iffy about that, but we ain't got to talk about that one.
No, we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about that.
So I want to go back to you, Al. You talked about Tokyo Revengers. So give the people a little bit about what happens in that.
Oh man, I just started it. So basically, it's this dude who his girlfriend has passed, and then like the next day, he dies, and ends up going back in time, and he's trying to figure out how he can save her. And that's really where I'm at right now. So he just woke back up in the hospital because he wasn't dead anymore. And now her brother is there, who I think he had actually died in like the first episode. So he's going back, changing some things, and I don't like it's working out. Kind of like that What If episode might be a absolute point that he's dealing with.
Yeah. So they do it where like he goes back in time. So they tell him, okay, this is the point that makes the issue. So they say, okay, like this gang, it gets out of control, and this is the point in which they do it. So if you can stop this point from occurring, then you can be able to not only save, the little brother of his girlfriend, told him like you can be able to save her, but a lot of other people. And so he has this mindset of being like I think a 26-year-old, but he's like 12 or 14. But he's still running into stuff because these are like hardened like Japanese. Well, how can you be a hardened? Well, they're middle school, but they're Japanese gangs. So eventually they make it big. They just keep doing the same shit and get up there.
You know how they do in these animes, man? They be punching full grown people be punching children.
Hey, man, fuck those kids, bro.
So
Thanks.
So that was good. So I haven't seen Eternals, but I know you guys have. So how did you guys feel about that?
I wish it was a show.
That I was telling Watt in the last recording that I was primarily concerned that they would not be able to have a cast of this number and make me care about their motivations and the individuality of each character, much less remember their names. But I have favorites, nigga. Like, I was legit surprised at who I connected with, who I understood, and honestly, who I wanted to see win. I like Al is saying, 2.5 hours wasn't enough Eternals for me, man. I would have loved to seen like an 8 episode or 10 episode show because they got enough content, man. Like when I tell you their lore is deep, look at their lore is deep, bro. Like,
take the glasses off, boy.
I wasn't bored. That's the thing. I was not bored. I was genuinely intrigued in seeing and understanding how mythology adopted from these actual people. What about you, Al?
Yeah, exactly. They seem like there's thousands of years they can pull from. I mean, there's so much history that they could have shown, that they had a hand in together and separate. And they just didn't go into that enough for me. The whole internal conflict, it just made such a large story seem so small.
I agree.
And like you said, I got favorites. And I would say probably my favorite might be Gilgamesh.
I knew it. Mine
hard,
too,
right?
bro. Mine too.
Yeah. That's the homie. And then I forgot his name in there. Like you said, names is hard in that. But Tyree, whatever character he plays. Festus. So I understood his motivations and all that, and like him being the tech dude was dope. Like he had some good stuff. So I was really enjoying that a lot.
Cool. So I also got to see Ghostbusters, Al. So I really like Ghostbusters, man. It was like I thought it had callbacks to the original one, but like I think Ghostbusters, the original one, was made for more adults. This one was made for more kids. So like once I came to that realization that like there's going to be stuff in here that's going to be like kiddie, but you know what I mean, it still had a couple of callbacks to that. I was all right with it. It wasn't bad to me. Like
nah.
And I enjoyed everything that they did with the callbacks, but I think it stood on its own even without the callbacks and things like that. Some people tried to give it mess, but it's a reboot. But I mean, you can't talk about Ghostbusters without bringing in the original Ghostbusters. So it was pretty good. What do you think, Al?
It stands on its own. I didn't hate it. I thought it was all right. I would say, like, to me, and there is no movie if they just don't do dumb stuff. But I just felt like some of that stuff was just too obvious that you just should not do. And they just did it. But I guess that's just kids and teens being kids and teens. Because, some of that stuff, I was like, why are you doing that? Like, no, don't. I'm in the movie like they say we are. Don't go in that room. Don't open that thing. Like, no, but it was cool. I did like podcast. That's the MVP on that to me. He's probably my favorite character. So I gave it about like a 7 or 7.5, I think.
Yeah, all right there.
I enjoyed it a good bit. Like I wasn't bored. It had a good pacing and all of that. Yeah, it was all right.
I had gave it an 8, but that's just because I was really big into Ghostbusters. It was like 4 or 5 things that I was really big into when I was a kid. It was Ghostbusters, Ninja Turtles, and Batman. And so like one of the things that this is a funny story real quick. So I had we had one of them ghost traps. And so at the time, my mom was pregnant with my sister who just turned 30. Happy birthday, Camille. There was a ghost trap at the top of the steps. Mom slipped while she was so she like twisted her ankle and stuff like that. My mom was like, "Why did y'all put this ghost trap there?" She was like, "To catch the ghost. Why else would you put a ghost trap there?" So needless to say, we didn't have any more ghost traps, nothing like that. So, but it was a funny thing. That's how big we were into it at the time.
Hey, that was strategic though. That's the entry point.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
it was coming.
Where else are you gonna put it, Mom?
I mean, it was coming from the basement, and that's where ghosts always go at. So
here you go.
Scientifically proven.
Exactly.
They're always in the basement.
So, that was the jump off point for us though. But what about television shows or anything like that? Have y'all been catching up with any of those?
Well, yeah, you go ahead, man.
I was trying to think. Besides, like Insecure, that's the only one I've really been going out of my way to watch. I'm normally like really big in Power. After finishing Raising Kanan, I haven't been as quick to jump on season 2 of book 2 with Tariq, bitch ass. Even though I do like him a little bit more. But I don't know. I just I feel like the brain has a capacity for like certain shows, and after you get so much content of one universe, you got to step back for a little bit, let it compound, and then come back to it.
Yeah,
so that's where I'm at with certain shows.
There's only so much trapping you can do. You know what I'm saying?
Pretty much.
Yeah. So for me, true story, I binged that because it was like 30 minutes an episode. I don't know how they pulled that off because there was a lot going on, and I didn't feel like they missed too much. Hawkeye just caught the latest episode today. It's not black or nerdy, but I was watching it. It's You, so I finished that. I think that's season 3. And another movie I saw was The Harder They Fall, which I thought was pretty dope.
Yeah, I loved Harder They Fall. With my name being Wyatt and being synonymous with Westerns, like I just kind of go towards those. To have like that whole cast and them all be strong within their own characters and things like that, I loved it. Like even though like they made up their own like cowboy universe in that situation where like the characters were based off of the character names were real, but as far as like the story that they were telling was completely made up. But it was like super dope to see how they went about that, and then still brought in some of the characteristics that they're known for so that they could be able to do it. So I loved it too. I loved like the soundtrack that went with it.
Oh yeah, it was real good.
Yeah, so it's if you get a chance to, Jay, you haven't seen it yet?
I have not.
Bro, when you get a chance to see it, like it's one of those things that's like one of them instant classics. Like it made me feel, you know how to me personally, I like, you know how with Harlem Nights it made you feel proud to be black because it had like a really good, like it wasn't like blackity black, but it was just like we're black and we're just regular here. That's how it made me feel. So like it was a good story that was told with just black people, not just a black story.
They just
they had
to be black. I got you.
Exactly. But like they had their moments, like that culturally you can tell somebody black wrote it, directed, stuff like that. Because there's stuff that like we only gonna get. There's a side eye here, there's a comment there. I would say that if I was in that situation. And it's also like beautifully shot, like color, angle, else. Like you might just you probably, even if you didn't think the movie was that good, you just looking at it, you would enjoy it. Most people I feel good. So it's dope. Characters is good. I didn't really get the Dion Cole hype. I didn't really get that, but I guess maybe they're not used to seeing him in something like that. But he did well. But people was like, oh, this is super good. I didn't catch that.
I caught it. Yeah, I think that's what it was. So it's like he showed that he was an actor rather than just a comedian. So that's where I was like, good for him. But like you said, it wasn't like, oh, well, he was good. You know what I mean? You just didn't think that, you was like, oh, he's an actor too, not just somebody that can tell jokes and shuck and jive. So
yeah, I was expecting like Jamie Foxx, Ray Charles or something, just like out of this world performance. And no, it was pretty much he's an actor. He is actually an actor. So hopefully we'll see him in more stuff because he proved himself with that one.
So what else had I seen? I saw Venom, Let There Be Carnage.
Oh man, I haven't seen either of them, honestly.
Don't worry about it.
That's why I ain't seen it.
Don't worry about it.
That seems like the consensus. I was like, I don't know.
You had one job.
Bruh. So I took my son.
Spoil it, man. I'm not tripping on it. I'm not a.
It's nothing to spoil. There's nothing.
That's
to
the point. There's shit to spoil.
Like
nothing.
Like everything in the trailers tell you what happened in the story, and I'm gonna put it to you this way: my 9-year-old came back and was like, "Dad, I don't understand. When a 9-year-old can't follow what you're trying to do in this situation." He was just like, he's like, the action was cool. He was like, but I give it like a 4.
Ooh.
Out of 10. I was like, out of 10? He was like, out of 10.
And I was like, fair, honestly.
And so I couldn't argue with him. But it was just like, okay, they got away from what kind of brought them to the dancing, so to speak. Like it was dark, it was like heavy. You know what I mean? This one, at one point, Venom and Brock separate, and Venom goes to a rave with his mates and everything.
Shit.
Okay.
And then he has like almost like a coming out moment, and. Like
so Venom's gay? What are you trying to tell me?
No. So the rave was kind of like it was a rave with all diversities of people,
right?
And so you know how in those certain situations, there's certain people that have those moments that come out and say, "Hey, I'm this way. I'm proud. Somebody didn't treat me and respect me." That's what Venom did.
Okay.
And so then it was just like, I just want you to go back to eating people and being violently aggressive. You know what I mean? That I don't need that from Venom. I got Spider-Man for that. So so they toned it down, and I think they kind of lost their crowd in that situation and lost their tone that they were looking for.
Was there any type of like Spider-Man hint or anything like that they might cross over? Or?
I'll tell it since nobody's gonna go see this anyway. So at the end of the movie, there's like a bright light flash and everything like that. And Eddie, Brock, and Venom got back together. They were in a hotel room. They come out of this bathroom. They're in a hotel room, but it's a change in day. And they look at the television, and it's J. Jonah Jameson saying that the Peter Parker Tom Holland is Spider-Man. So essentially they jumped him into that one. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you, it sounds cooler the way Wyatt described it. I'm just gonna say that.
Dang, I don't even need to look up the after credits. It was that bad.
It wasn't good, bro. It was just like, blah, 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 blah. Oh, he's in the MCU now. That was literally it.
So So it was interesting.
It was a movie.
That it was. So one thing that I have been watching that was really, really good is this show on Stars called Heels. It is based off of essentially like independent wrestlers. And I know people are like independent wrestling, but it's a drama through and through. So essentially it's like two brothers. One is trying to keep up the family business of being an independent wrestler. They're in South Georgia. And so they're doing what they can as far as that's concerned. One brother, he's the oldest, he's running everything. The younger brother doesn't really have an understanding about wrestling. He's like, I want to be the good guy. And if I'm a good guy in the wrestling ring, then I'll be a good guy, in real life. But he's really an asshole. So he doesn't understand that that's just a character. Like, this is pretend. Like he was, for the whole season, he was upset because he couldn't get the title. And his brother was trying to tell him in a certain situation, like, hey, this is all pretend. Like, we got to make sure these people come back. So if you win, they ain't got no reason to come back. And then our doors close. So we have to build. We have to have a storyline that builds and things like that. So there's a lot of things that happen in between. Some really messed up stuff and some really good stuff. And some of it kind of emulates what's happened in wrestling worlds and before. There's this one guy whose name is Wild Bill. Wild Bill is a crazy old guy who's like beyond his past, beyond his time. He gets really, really drunk on an airplane and walks out with this like shiny new title that they're like, hey, we need you to get behind this title to show that it's really cool. So he comes out in just the title and nothing else, and his dangly parts are out. So it's a kind of a callback to what Ric Flair used to do. So they have a lot of little throwbacks from there, and then they also have CM Punk in there, and he has a small role, so it's pretty cool.
Dope. I'm gonna have to check it out because I've been getting back into wrestling recently.
Yeah, if you've been a wrestling fan of any sort, like in the past 20 years, you'll find something to like identify within this story.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You said it was on Stars?
Stars.
Yeah, Stars. Yep.
I haven't watched Insecure this season. So here's my thing. So before y'all judge me and try to take my black card.
No judgment here, brother. No judgment.
Is this a safe place?
This is a very safe place.
Your place.
Like, we're in your house, sir.
So here's what happened. So I feel like every time Lawrence gets any kind of like backing, like it just goes bad for him. So like I don't know, I haven't seen this season, but I feel like every time like Issa Rae's character is bad, then she wants to make herself look good again. Like she wants to be the protagonist, even though sometimes she's not. And so I don't know. I forgot. I knew it was coming up, but I be watching a whole lot of stuff, man. And then I got to devote. You got to devote time to actually listening and getting all the nuances. So I haven't seen it, but how has it gone? Is it crazy like it's normally been?
Oh, I mean, this is how I feel about it. So I feel like we said before. I think there's some storylines that they're rehashing, or they're just revisiting, and it's just a different version of it. It's just a different time of the year. So it's a year later, and you've done the same thing you did last season. So there's a part of it that I am enjoying that I don't think that they're showing as often, which is her kind of flourishing in her business and how that affects her, the type of people she's running into and dealing with. And how that can affect relationships, you know, having something that's taking up a lot of your time. I think there's a lot of material there that they're just kind of leaving on the table, just to go back and do things, you know, baby mama stuff or ex stuff, you know. So it's cool. Right now, probably my favorite person in it is I think it's Ryan Davis. I think he got the top moment in it for me. I'm not gonna spoil it because that's the episode you just kind of gotta watch and enjoy it right now. I think that's probably the best moment in the series so far. I think we got a few more episodes, so hopefully they'll turn it up and this will be worth a final season. You know, HBO's kind of been on final seasons, so
yeah.
So hopefully we get a good one. But what do you think, sir?
Bruh, you hit the nail on the head. I get an overwhelming sense of deja vu this season. I'm not bored, but I am not getting the dynamic that caught me the first couple episodes. The first couple episodes, I saw this new character in Kelly that I fell in love with. I don't want to spoil it, but there is an incident that happened at a class reunion involving her character that allowed her to become a new person in a sense. And that person is so interesting.
Yeah.
She has a podcast, she talks, she even seems like I identified with it. Long story short, it was your friends view you as this one type of person. You recognize that, and then you embrace who you really are, and you stop being that archetype of a friend. You know,
she was the crazy one. She was the one that was always doing kind of outlandish.
She was the crazy, freaky big girl.
Yeah.
And she finally saw it. And she was like, that's not all I am. And it started building on that. You know, it was like a character arc in anime that happened with her. And I'm not getting enough of it with her. Like I'm legit wanting more of her. Like I'm at a point, and maybe this is me overexerting my thoughts on it. I would like to see her own spinoff if she continues.
That's since season 1. That's my favorite character in the series, to be honest.
Yeah, she's just that dope. I would love to see what Issa could do with her. I feel what you're saying, Wyatt. You definitely have some credibility with how Issa does herself. When it comes to Lawrence is one thing I like about Insecure. There's no good or bad guys. Everybody's gray. Everybody. There's no right, wrong. Everybody's fucked up. She definitely gets more opportunities to redeem herself versus some other characters. And the only reason I think that is because she is the main character, to be real with you. We by nature are going to spend more time with her. To Al's point, she is definitely focusing more on her business. And what I like is that typically when you have a character in mediums like Tyler Perry, the workaholic who's pursuing their dream, inadvertently you can neglect some people in some relationships. In a Tyler Perry movie, you would be ostracized for it. You'd be judged. In Insecure, it's a realistic approach to someone who's pursuing their dreams. So they're not painted a bad guy. That is what I really am enjoying about Issa's character. She's growing business-wise, and like Al was saying, her network is expanding. So she's getting more experiences and meeting more people that are more like-minded towards her. So it's essentially a season of growth for Issa, literally and figuratively. So it's cool. It's just not, I don't see the build here yet. That's what I'm saying. I'm not seeing this build to this finite, definite ending yet.
Yeah.
We're on like episode 6, so I'm looking at my watch like
how many we getting? 8, 9?
I don't know if it's, I think before it was 10 or 8. I can't remember, but they need to hurry up.
Yeah. And I think some of it might have to do with the whole pandemic and all of that, and trying to,
of course, because
the prior seasons, I don't know, they just felt like more alive to me. Like there was just a little bit more going on.
The city was a character.
It was.
And now it just seems like they're doing whatever they can to just make the show in the state that it's in while kind of completely ignoring it, which I get you don't want to remind people that this has happened. But, you know, when it's just 2 people in a room or 4 people in a room, you know, you can only take that so far. And there was speaking of build-ups, that episode with Ryan Davis, there's a particular build-up and something that I would have really loved to see. And I feel like they couldn't. I feel like in past seasons we would have seen it. And I feel like this one we couldn't because of just what it would have taken to get those people and that shot. And for how long, you know, you might have seen 10 seconds, 5 seconds of that, of what they was building up to. But I think it would have been worth it. Hilarious. So I ain't gonna spoil it, but yeah, if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it would have been good.
So I have a question. This was a random question that I was going to put in the chat, but then I figured I'd ask it when we got here. So do you think Pizza Dog really has no eye in real life, like with the Hawkeye show? Or do you think they CGI the dog's eye? Or funnier part, do you think Disney was like, you need a golden retriever with one eye, and then they was like, make it happen, number 2?
Ooh,
I'm gonna say
last one. They made it
right. They definitely put out a casting call for a one-eyed dog.
It was like, which one of y'all we get $1 million to take your dog's eye out?
It's like
We'll pay for it.
Yeah, so they already got a trained dog, and it was like, you know what? We're just gonna take one for the team on that one. So I think they made it happen.
Hell yeah. And I bet the dog's real name is like Blinky or some shit. You know how people be naming it.
Scott Summers.
Shout out to Blinky. Oh, Scott. Oh, that's messed up. That's messed up.
So how do you guys like Hawkeye? I know we talked a little bit about it before, but I got to watch episode 2 and 3 because I only had seen 1.
I haven't watched 3 yet today. I was going to do that after this.
Okay, well, it's great. The action picks up.
Good.
And I've also, so during my time away, I've also been reading more comic books. So My Life as a Weapon was a recommendation. So I've caught that. They really take parts and pieces from that. So
Isn't that book amazing?
it is. And so they do that. So that's really, really good. Another comic book that I've been reading that I think you guys would enjoy is called Black. So essentially it is where Black people have superpowers. There's only about like 2%. Yeah, 2% of people have it. So
right. So you have to say Black people in powers.
So the antagonist, his name is Theodore Mann. So he's the man. So there's a character that is kind of like MLK. There's a character that's kind of like Malcolm. And they have 2 different ways of how they feel like there should be there should be with Black people. So they say essentially Theodore Mann's family, so the Mann's family has institutionalized like putting us in jail and things like that. So then when we go ahead and like have these powers that nobody kind of questions when they come up missing. Mm-hmm. So there's more to it. There's characters that they have wonderful powers. So you should definitely check that out, because now they have a new series called White, where it's the response to what it's made by the same person. So it's their response to.
I was
I know. I said the same thing. So it's their response to because everybody's powers were kind of kept under wraps. Now Black people are out in the open with superpowers, and this is their response to it.
Okay.
Black
check that out.
Is the cover of a gentleman in a red hoodie.
Yes.
Buying it.
So it's good. I've been really on my Black comics too. So I read one of these. It's called Excellence. I read the first episode or first issue, It's like Fresh Prince meets Harry Potter, but he's got swag. No jokes.
I mean, Fresh Prince is swag already, so
You know, when I say that, like, no, there's no Carlton, there's no like hee hee ha ha, and it has a
drip,
and it has a touch of Wakanda in there, because there's a whole council of black mages, and they with the BS, so to speak.
See what you did there.
I'm gonna get on this because I haven't been reading too much. I used to some years back, before kind of a lot of this stuff took off with superheroes. I would read like random stuff and like Barnes and Nobles because I didn't want to pay for them. But
we'll talk about some other places you can go to. We got you.
Oh, appreciate it. I definitely want to check them out, especially. I'm gonna buy something. I like to support. You know, you gotta give them the money so they keep making. But those definitely sound dope. Because I would like to see. I would like to see just that kind of stuff in general, like you said, just situations where just black people just happen to be in certain situations. And
man, I've just for whatever reason, man, I've just gotten away from like the superhero genre of comics. But just to be able to have certain things, because I'm actually starting to read a horror one. I forget the name of it, where they go to a certain town and it's like, you know, they say serial killers are just everywhere, but this one town has made up 16 of the serial killers. So now it's like a mystery / sci-fi about what about this town produces serial killers.
That sounds interesting.
That does.
Shameless plug of what's coming up on the Blerd Syndicate.
Yes,
since we're talking about black comics, I've been in contact with David Crowdson, who is the writer of Harriet Tubman, Demon Slayer. Black-owned comic. It is amazeballs. And yes, you can pretty much tell what it's about by the title, Harriet Tubman as a Demon Slayer. Bruh, I'm on issue 3. This shit is wild. I got in contact with him because, you know, when I do What's Sir Reading on the page, I do clips of the comic, and I only do clips if I own the comic. I don't want to put your panels in there if I'm ripping it from somewhere. So I reached out to him, just throwing a dart in the dark, and I was like, yo, just want to let you know I want to review it, but I want your blessing before I do it. Dude wrote me back in like an hour, was like, hell yeah, do it. And I'll be down to do an interview. And I'm like, wow, sure.
When Jeremy,
man, bullseye dart.
Yeah. When Sir showed me that, I was like, I stood up and clapped. It was right. It was right before Thanksgiving. I was like, I am very thankful. So we will try to do some of those. And then, you know, I want to try to, I'm not going to try to do the same thing Sir does, because he does it so well. But like definitely some reviews on some comic books, because like I think that there's a lot out there, and even if you're not into superheroes, like there's a bunch of stuff that you can be able to get into. And we're also going to do those since I am the sommelier of anime. I'm going to go ahead and do
bars.
Yes, Jeremy Brunard, he thought about the sommelier part. I'm giving him credit here, but we're going to do just what ifs or like recommendations for anime. So that way we're gonna do some little voiceover work, some little editing and whatnot. Make sure that these videos don't get taken down though. But we're gonna do that so that we can be able to have diversity among our Blerd Nation.
What we talking about? What we're watching? I need to know something else, man. What y'all playing, bro? Because I got me a little bit of time on my hand. Like it'd be like 15, 30 minutes. It don't be a lot, but I've been scratching my video game itch. What about y'all?
Man.
I've been playing. Go ahead. Go ahead. Oh, okay. So I have I've been sticking to The Walking Dead. It's kind of a builder game through an app. It's pretty nice. I got a nice little group with me. Let me tell you the name of it. 1 second. The Walking Dead Survivors. So you get different characters and they can help you build. You get formations so that you get the characters from the games or from the actual comic book and the show, and they go in different formations. You can kill different level of zombies and stuff. I've just been doing that, man. When it comes to other games, I want to check out Guardians of the Galaxy, because I heard it wasn't. I heard it wasn't bad, because when they messed up my Avengers, I was kind of iffy, because Jeremy told me not to get it, but I was being hard-headed. I was like, no, it can't be that bad. It's the Avengers and it's Square Enix, so they got to be able to do something great. I played that game a grand total. I finished the. I'm hard-headed, so I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and finish the storyline. So I'm gonna finish it all, and once I did, I was just like, what was that game that you used to play, Jay? It's with the shooters, and then after that, you just pretty much play with everybody else. I forget the name of it. It was really, really popular. I'll look it up. But yeah, I haven't really been playing anything else, but I do want to play Guardians.
Yeah, I want to play that too, because that seems pretty good. I've heard some good reviews on it. Man, I've been really off, like kind of same thing with anime. Video games, I've been off on it. I gotta keep it up so I keep my Blerd card. But I bought and have played some of Far Cry 6. It was actually my first Far Cry game. I'm not a big first person shooter player, but I heard this one was good. I keep hearing I think 3 is better, something like that. So if I like this one, I might go back, check it out. But this is pretty straight. I like the villain. He seems to be active. He's around. You don't really get that a lot in games, so yeah, he's definitely been a menace on that. But I just kind of started in it, so I just left the main island. I'm on like the area. So I'm on that right now. I kind of want to go back and play Mass Effect again. I haven't picked up the remasters. That's one of my favorite games ever, or series ever. Man.
You definitely should.
I loved it. There was when I get into a game, I play it heavy. So I did all 3 of the Mass Effect games when they were, it was that's why I have to be on and off. So I think I may start playing The Witcher again, Witcher 3, because that was a really good game too. But Far Cry is really, really good. But essentially, they stay the same. Like the villain just changes, and where you are. But you know what I mean. And the graphics get better. But if you like any of those, you can play all of them. And they're pretty much about the same game. Just how you end up. The villain is the main part of it. Because if the villain's really, really good, then you'll really, really enjoy the game. Because the villain usually does some fucked up stuff to you, and that's why you're stuck in said area that's underdeveloped.
Yeah. I've been revisiting old games I've played before. Like I was streaming Star Fox the other day. I plan on streaming Turok next, mixed with some Mario 64. Maybe some Sonic 2. And I say maybe because the chemical plant zone gives me like anxiety when that water start rising. I should start fucking with me. I don't want to see no drowned hedgehogs and stuff like that. But yeah, I've been retroing it up. Been playing a few 360 games like Fear. Been playing. I started back playing the old Dead Space 1.
You can't play that at night. Can't play that at night.
Bruh, I bought 1 and 2. I left 3 alone. I ain't want to play co-op, but yeah, I missed that old. What in the fuck was that? You know what I'm saying? So when you hear something, and you pause for a second and just look. Yeah, I've been on that heavy. I replayed Resident Evil 7 because I had beat 8, and I want to go back and play 7 again. Yeah, I'm just, I don't know. I'm in a horror game kind of vibe right now. If it's scary, I want to play it.
Oh, speaking of horrors, you said you wanted to talk about Candyman.
Yeah. Candyman was good, man. One of my favorite horror movies this year that I've seen, because it had a message, and it was one of those movies where it's going to punch you in the face with a message, and I was fine with it, with the message it gave. It expanded the lore and the concept of what a Candyman is, and I'm gonna spoil it because you had 3 months, so this is what it's going to be. Candyman isn't a singular entity. Candyman can be summoned through anyone. If you were a victim of a hate crime, if you were a victim of injustice, you can be reanimated as a Candyman. Candyman is now a title. So in the story, as it recapped different types of Candyman, there were some that were children, some that were artists, some that were farmers. It's just anytime there was an injustice and it involved black men would come back to haunt those who killed him as a Candyman. And it was great. It was great. And it was really good. It was just, I don't want to give too much where people don't want to go watch it. It's not a movie you go watch to be terribly afraid. You go to get a message, like the other Jordan Peele movies. Even though he didn't do that, he just produced this one. This is like, if he let his little sister or like his homegirl make a movie under it, this is what Candyman was. There was some pacing issues I didn't like, but overall, I thoroughly enjoyed this take on Candyman. And yes, you get Tony Todd in it. He's in there. So check it out. You ain't like Tony Todd?
No, I mean, you say he's in there. I mean, yeah, he's in there, but kinda.
Yeah.
I wanted a little more.
Yeah, I did too, but this expanded the opportunity for more.
Yeah, and I hope we get that. I'm not big into, like, I've only seen the first one, and then I saw this most recent one, and like you said, it's not something you're gonna go and be afraid of, like, be too scared. So I was kind of expecting that, so it let me down in a sense of that I was looking to be a little bit more scared than what I was. But the message in it, definitely understood that, and didn't mind it at all, because that's honestly our reality. Whether it's the brutality and just everyday dealing with police, no matter who you are, no matter what status you got, just being black or brown, you have that threat. And then also the gentrification part of it, you know, and seeing both sides of it, because, you know, one of the critics was like, you're kind of no different. And she was talking about taking the art part of it, but I honestly felt like they should have went a step further. And like, you're in the same apartments that I'm in. You know, you left the city, and then when the city became something else, or you left the projects and the projects became something else, then you moved in, just like we did. You're not no different. And I thought that was an interesting dynamic they could have, like, explored a little bit more. Because not to say that they're traitors or anything just because you want something better, but I think it's something that a lot of us struggle with, you know, trying to find a balance of accepting, you know, what we're from in our culture, and then also kind of what we've been taught is right, and, you know, the way neighborhood and things like that should be. I think that's a dynamic that we don't really talk about too often, and I wish they would have brought that up a little bit.
Yeah. Hopefully this opens the table to more films like this, where it's a message piece with genre strings, you know, like a seasoning of horror. Like I enjoyed these where I'm gonna say it. There were white people in the theater, and you could feel them being uncomfortable, and I was fine with that, because as much as we go to escape, reality, when we walk outside, you need to feel where I'm coming from. Otherwise, how can you know what I experience? So yeah, I think it served its purpose very well then.
Yeah. I hope they do it again. That delay was crazy for it. I wish it would have came out a little sooner. But I get why it didn't. But it was coming out and then it didn't. And then it was just like, oh, it's out now. I'm like, all right, well, I guess I'm gonna go see it.
Right.
But I was hyped when the trailer came out way back when. So I think that kind of took a little wind out of sails for me, but definitely want to see what's coming up next. I think, I don't even know how to pronounce his name, but the guy who's playing Candyman.
Oh, yeah, Mateen.
Yeah, and he looked like he next up because that whole Matrix situation.
He's been Black Manta and what's his face, Dr. Manhattan. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think a lot of people. Well, I don't know. I don't really hear a lot of people talk about Watchmen. I really enjoyed that show.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was. You want to talk about racial undertones and the fact that it was written by a white guy? That blew my mind.
And the fact that they did
what?
Yeah,
they didn't see it coming. Like a lot of
it was written by a white guy.
They didn't see all the pieces coming together to make where everything happened the way they did. So like they didn't see about like any of like the attack in Tulsa, nothing about like how, the first hero was still a black man and how they wrote him out. So I mean, it was crazy.
I mean, that seems to be a pattern. They did that with Homie and Captain Falcon. But yeah, about the whole Tulsa thing, I mean, there's people that still like they had no idea. They thought it was just a scene on a TV show, and I'm like, no, man, that was real.
Central Park. When they did,
I mean, it's Tulsa. I mean, just down the way from us, I think Lake Gunnersville. There's a situation where it's one of them underwater towns that was ours. But not to get too serious, but we gone. I think a show kind of watched around the same time that Tulsa was the Lovecraft country, and that was a good show. I kind of watched that around the same time as Watchmen, and I hate that we're not going to get to see that kind of version of Black people with superpowers. That's what season 2 is supposed to be. So that's why I'm kind of really interested in those 2 comics that you mentioned, because essentially what I'm looking for out of that season 2 that we're not getting, which is what happens.
Hold on. It got picked up by Apple, sir.
What?
Yeah.
What got picked up by Apple?
Season 2 got picked up by Apple.
Of what?
Lovecraft.
Oh, watch out now. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You lying?
No, I'm dead ass.
I heard she signed a deal with them, but I didn't hear it was for that. You're kidding. Original cast? Well,
I don't know.
Can't. Rest in peace, Michael K. Williams. But can't have all the original. But man, if they can get them back, because
old buddy finna be busy.
He's gonna be real. He got how many? We don't know how many roles he got to play of the same person. So
right.
That's the same thing.
I didn't know that.
That's the same thing I keep saying about Tom Holland. He was like, if he's still playing the same Spider-Man role, and when he's in his 30s, then he failed. I'm like, bro, if you don't look at how big and how developed Spider-Man goes from being like, you go from being a high schooler to you can be able to play where you're in college, and then go into the real life, and then all the good and the bad stuff that happens to Spider-Man, bruh, you could be able to play any. If he played superior Spider-Man, where Doc Ock took over his brain and was like, he was cold and calculating, all this stuff that he could be able to do. So it's a lot that hopefully everybody can be able to do, but old buddy is definitely going to be busy because he was in The Harder They Fall too.
Yeah. Yeah, he's one of the other ones next to him. We only get like 2.
Yeah,
right. At a time, especially
Dr. Manhattan and him.
Like 2 at a time. Michael B. Jordan is kind of out the way for a minute. I don't know if he's
He's doing Creed 3. That's what he's doing. He's directing it.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Okay. Making moves.
Lori Harvey. That's what else he's been up to.
That's what I was saying. He's kind of hemmed up right now. I don't blame him.
You know.
But I didn't know he was directing that.
Yeah.
So, did Cooler do the second one?
No, he didn't do the second one. Somebody, because he was busy doing another movie, and so like because they kept pushing it back, but then he got really popular because that's when he started to do Black Panther afterwards, and they were starting to do stuff from there. So they were like, well, give me this amount of time, and MGM was like, nah fam, we're gonna get somebody else to do it. And so he had since he's an executive producer, he had to sign off on who was doing it. But then Michael B. Jordan was like, I wanted to do the last one. So that's why me personally, I think that's why Sylvester Stallone isn't in the third one. They said that, you know, Rocky is done with, but you know, it's good for him. But, you know, in the same instance, you got to have your person that, you know, trains you up, get you right.
I think that's a sign of something to come.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a plot point. But I'm not in life. You kind of have to break away from your dad's shadow, so to speak, and become your own man. So I'm kind of fine with if he's not in the third one as prevalent, like, you know, if he's passed on story wise, I'm fine with that. I just I'm okay with change. I'm not with forcing a presence too much. Yeah. Kind of like with Cap and Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I was so scared Cap was gonna be in the show somehow just to appease people. I was so afraid. But I
didn't even consider it. It seemed like he was content with being done.
Yeah, they had Bucky, so I knew that they was all right.
Emphasis on the word.
So, no question though, since you talk about being all right with change. So, Black Panther
recast.
So you're all right with that? Al, what about you?
I'm good with either or, man. As long as you do it right, as long as that is good.
And I'm talking about both
to recast because you already have kind of a base, and then at that point you got somebody just acting like somebody else. And I think that's a hard. He did it so well. It's a hard shoe to pull. Is that what?
Hulk
wasn't that, but it was more CGI than anything.
I'm just saying. Just saying a character is just a character. A character can be anybody. How many Jokers have we had that have been dope?
Come on, did the Hulk hit $1 billion? No, man, didn't nobody care about no Hulk.
Hold on now. We ain't finna hold Hulk now. We ain't finna hold him now, because that's how we got hyped for Iron Man. We wouldn't be hyped for Iron Man if it wasn't Hulk.
Well, Hulk came out after Iron Man, because then he was in the second one, because it was in between 1 and 2. So
you talking about Eric Bana Hulk?
Hell no. Hell no.
I fell asleep.
I'm talking about Ed Norton. I don't even count that one.
So here's what I think. I think that because it is a character and the whole lore about Black Panther is it's a title, not based off a person. Why not just have somebody else come in? Like, so, you know what I mean? Like it's something where you could just be able to talk, like, and have somebody be able to say, hey, listen, you know, he meant a lot to the role. He meant a lot to the character as far as that T'Challa, you know, and I'm going to try to do my best to live up to that role. Just like, you know, T'Challa had to live up to T'Chaka. So, you know, just have something like that where you have a new character. And honestly, I want them to create a new character, just like they did Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn wasn't a character until Batman the Animated Series came out. So I want them to do something like that. So then after that, you don't have to pander to a certain nerdum group that's like, okay, well, this person didn't do this like that. Killmonger didn't look like that. No, just go ahead and do what you want to do from there. Because essentially, Killmonger was the White Wolf. And then they just kind of tweaked the story a little bit, but we're not on that though.
I just want asshole T'Challa. That's all I want. I want the T'Challa that people don't seem to know about. The one he's not a bad guy, but he's not a good guy. He's just a king.
He's just there for Wakanda. That's it.
Yeah, that's the T'Challa I just want to see portrayed. That's it.
We're not gonna see that one because the plan was to open up borders and all that. So yeah, I think that's out the question unless you get a whole new somebody that's like, you know what? As soon as we opened up, Thanos came in. And we about to put,
see it coming.
One thing I am noticing that they can kind of parlay that depending on who they made it become is that a lot of people's tech is dependent on Wakanda. And we already seen that they put a kill switch in the arm. So if everybody else stuff got a kill switch and if the right person get in there, it's like, you know what? We shutting all this down. Mm-hmm. That could be something major. So it could happen. I mean, at this point, Disney can do whatever. So I can't really put it past them.
Disney gonna do kumbaya, so they're gonna be like, everybody needs to be together and everyone is special.
I say we ended like with a not happy ending with this Wakanda Forever. I think it should be some unrest, like some severed relationships type stuff to make it really interesting for the third film. Because don't get me wrong.
I mean, it could mean Wakanda forever. Like it could end on that. Like it could be like, look, we about us. So I mean, I can see it going there. It might surprise us, man.
Fingers crossed.
Who would you put in it though? Like who would you, if you was gonna recast it?
John David Washington, all day, twice on Sunday.
I don't know. I gotta see him. I gotta see the accent.
Watch Malcolm and Marie, and then go back and think about it. Watch Tenet.
I've seen it. I've seen Tenet. So action-wise,
you can't see him.
I mean, action-wise, they can do whatever they want. We about to get a whole Samuel L. Jackson series, and I'm sure he's gonna fight. So they can make anybody look good, but I think there was just a certain regalness in the performance of T'Challa that I'm not sure that too many people can kind of just recapture.
Well, it doesn't have to necessarily be that, because the title of Wakanda, like the title of Black Panther, was just the strongest in the tribe. So me personally, I think since they did him so wrong in Star Wars, John Bodega. Yeah, because then after that, Boyega, whatever. Yeah, Boyega. I think that would be dope, because then after that, he could be able to see it as a not necessarily a title that's just among the royalty, because they had that be in that particular tribe to be able to do it beforehand. Him just being like, hey, I want to do it, and I want to be able to reach out, because there's a certain level of disconnect between royalty and the loyal, like, the regular folks in Wakanda.
So you would want him to be the whole new character?
Yeah.
Okay, but I'm talking about the recast. So you said the recast would be...
Oh, I'm not for the recast. See, because I just think that I think it could be like, I think you, like you said, you put too much anchor on that one person, because now if they don't have the regalness of Chadwick, and then here's the thing that also happens when you have someone that passes, then all of a sudden everybody looks at his work with such reverence, when nobody was going to go see him in James Brown. Nobody was going to go see him when he was Thurgood Marshall. Everybody was laughing and playing about it when that happened. You know what I mean? When 21 Bridges came out, there was like, he is not going, like, as a police officer, because he was sick at the time and he had dropped like 30 pounds and he wasn't big in the first place. Like,
it was a decent movie, man.
But nobody took him seriously as like a hard-nosed cop, because you blow him over, you know what I mean? Here he is. He ain't doing it. So like when it has those moments, you just can't, you have to, it's like one of those things that sucks, because like now that whoever's in that position as the new T'Challa, they're gonna be like, oh no, we don't like him, just because they feel like they're trying to replace him. And in a sense they are. So I just say just
somebody new altogether.
New character, new whatever. So
I'll take either of those two as a new character. I think the recast is just too hard to pull off. I think what you said would be what happened. I mean, they kind of do it with the Joker. I mean, it's
look at he murdered it.
Yeah, he did. But it's different. Like you got two different Jokers, and the one was on one end of the spectrum, the other was on the other end of the spectrum.
True.
We've never had a Black Panther, but now we're condemning it where we can't have another T'Challa because T'Challa died. I'm not upset about the Black Panther character. Like what I said, the title can be moved to anybody, but T'Challa as a character is ending. That's why I have a problem. I don't want T'Challa to end.
What about a variant?
That's what I'm saying. That's the perfect way to bring in someone else who's T'Challa. That's your key right there. The multiverse is your key.
And I feel like that's kind of, they were writing that in so that they can make those kind of moves. If we got to recast or whatever,
I can get down with that one, because then after that, like, they can be able to bring someone where, say for instance, he doesn't have maybe the same accent or the same views, because like with T'Challa, when he was in the comic books, he studied everywhere across the world. He wasn't just studying in Wakanda. So then he had he was doing his own thing. So then he just went around. So that may be, in his universe, this would may have happened, and it may have made him different. Maybe his mom was different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think that if they do it, that'll be the move, because I don't think you can just be like, this is the same person but he's different. Right. You can't do a Rhodey situation again. But I don't think we're too far along and too invested.
What's going on, Iron Man?
Next time, baby. And there was no next time. So that's gonna be interesting, man. Especially with all that stuff they got going on set. I'm hearing things about M'Baku might have the mantle for a bit, but I don't know if we'll keep that. I think they got to do something else. So there's a lot of passing.
All right, so I'm gonna give you guys what I think would be a dope storyline. So I think they should have saved Killmonger, but rather than having him, because he was like, I'm not gonna be a slave, I'm not gonna be in jail, whatever, in chains. They give him the lay of the land where he just can't leave Wakanda. So then he goes through and understands the culture of Wakanda, because the only thing he knows right now is hate for them because they left him alone. So I think that would be dope, and then have a kind of redeeming story where he becomes not king, but the protector of what he's found to love in the Wakandan culture.
I could see
it. It'd been cool if What If didn't happen.
Yeah.
I think What If solidified the idea that, wow, this nigga's really a dick. Yeah.
Like, no matter what universe.
I'm kind of with you on that.
Because I left that episode like hell. I left the season finale. I was like, I thought I would really like that nigga. I don't like that nigga.
He just went on his own thing, man.
Yeah, bro. I was just like, God damn.
I mean, but I understand the moves. He didn't do anything. If I were a person like him, he didn't do anything I wouldn't have done.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not too mad at it. But I mean, there's a lot of stuff from What If I wish they would kind of just bring in. I don't know if they're gonna work that in somehow. But man, there was a lot of good ideas in that Star-Lord T'Challa.
That wasn't even my favorite episode. I'm being 100 with you. My favorite episode was the Doctor Strange one. That shit was crazy. The way it ended with a sad ending, where he was just trying to save his loved one and he failed still.
And he lost the whole universe.
Bruh. Like, and it was all his fault. Like, bruh.
That was great. No, that's probably my favorite one too. I'm not gonna front. But it's character-wise. Star-Lord. Because that episode, Doctor Strange, was amazing. I don't know how you kind of want that Supreme Strange, I think people want him to be in this new Spider-Man joint, but that's a little too much power. They can't. Nah, I don't see that happening.
Now, Multiverse of Madness, I wouldn't be shocked. I would not be shocked, bro. I would not be shocked.
Well, all right, this is the last thing we're gonna talk about because this is crazy. So, people were paying $25,000 to get Spider-Man tickets from Fandango.
25,000 ways they got me fucked up. They think I'm gonna pay that much to go see Spider-Man, bro.
I just go see it next week.
Period.
Right. Is it not on? They're not gonna put this on Disney Plus.
No,
They want their money.
Yeah,
They want their money, bro.
Yeah.
Man, why they do Black Widow like that? I'm glad she got her check because they ain't do nobody else.
They did try to hold a girl, bro.
They was like, oh no,
$25K for Spider-Man though.
Nah,
man, I don't know what's going on with just money in general. I mean, they paying $200K for monkey pictures. So
what?
That's just
Hold
on.
You know the NFTs and joints,
The NFT shit.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah. So like,
hey, we need to get on that.
Weird stuff is just happening. People got money to blow, and if you got it, you got
inside.
it.
That's what it is.
I feel like you can just talk to somebody and just buy out the theater for that. Like I'm gonna see it with my homies and nobody else. Like I will rent out the theater if I was gonna spend that much. Let me go talk to the manager, and you'll make more than what you was gonna make in a full house. But that's crazy. I don't think I'll ever be that rich. Like not just mentally, where I'm just like, yeah, I'm just gonna waste that much money.
But you wouldn't have to pay that much to buy out a theater. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, but no, that's what I'm saying. You got to have a lot of money to just be like, I'm gonna spend $25,000 to watch the movie with other people. Like, cause then to me, you gotta you like $25,000 gotta be like $25 to you. That's the only way it makes sense because you're not thinking.
that's just like I want it now. That's just I want that. No, that one.
For that much, I need to be able to like instant replay. I need a rewind. I need a pause.
I need it for the
10 seconds.
I need it for the at least 2 or 3
credits, so I can get to that after credits. For that kind of bread, I need major control on that.
Bruh.
Yeah, you're not $25K. That's just wasted. If you got it, you got it. You just stupid. That's just it.
Yeah, it's definitely giving me that it ain't tricking if you got it vibes, but it's totally tricking if you got it. Totally tricking.
So, all right, well, fellas, we have had a great time talking for about an hour or so, a little bit more.
Yes, sir.
So we're gonna have more of these where we discuss anything from anime to wrestling to video games, comic books. Nothing is off limits here with the BS. So what I want you, the listeners, to do, I want you to be like the Hulk. There's a like button. I want you to smash that. And then we're going to be like Iron Man. We're going to love you 3000. So until the next time, continue to do Blerd stuff all the time. And we'll see you later. All right.
Peace.